Tactical Command, this is SORT. We are inbound on final approach. I say again, on final.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the New York State Police exhibit here at the fair. More importantly, welcome to the Special Operations Response Team Rappelling Demonstration. If you would please direct your attention to the first deck. Give a warm welcome for your host, Sergeant Eric the Irish Hand Grenade Osborne.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 18th and final day of the Great New York State Fair. We appreciate you folks coming out. We especially appreciate those of you that sat through that dog show for no other purpose than to secure prime seats for this, the best show of the exhibit, guaranteed not to give you fleas. We are SORT. SORT is the tactical element for the New York State Police. As such, we conduct all those operations you would expect a SWAT team to conduct. High-risk felony warrants, drug raids, barricaded subjects, hostage situations, dignitary protection. However, we also perform a few tasks you wouldn't necessarily associate with a SWAT team, such as search and rescue, to include high angle rappelling and rope rescue, which is what we're going to demonstrate here today in the high wind conditions. So without further ado, let's bring the guys down and introduce them. Up on the left side of the tower, hailing from Utica, New York, the land of tomato pie and chicken riggies, Trooper Matt, the Laser Mazer. And on the right side of the tower, coincidentally also hailing from Utica, New York, the land of Utica Greens and the Pustine, Trooper Chris. If you like dogs, how do you like these puppies? Sweatin'! Down here on the ropes, direct from division headquarters, sporting his tactical black multi-cam Chuck Taylors. Very nice, D. Sergeant Eric the Duke Zarza! In that top window, spinning our beats, fresh off his European tour where he played clubs from Milan to Minsk. He's available for birthdays, bar mitzvahs, and of course, bachelorette parties. Trooper Brian DJ DeRossi! Up on the left side, the Team Fly Daredevil, motocross expert, Trooper Scott Hot Rod Usmail. And on the right side of the tower, he has mastered every discipline in the tactical community. However, as a true Renaissance man, he also serves as our team's cobbler, sawyer, and tailor. As a matter of fact, 2 fairs ago, all his time off at the fair was spent at the hotel sewing 3 bridesmaids' dresses for his sister's wedding. True story. Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Ryan Stitch Ordway. So smooth. All right, folks, while they're working their way back up the tower, I'm going to go over a little bit about what it takes to become a member of SORT. First off, you have to be a trooper for a minimum of 2 years. Quite the process in and of itself. After that, we periodically put out training announcements. If you feel you may have what it takes, you can put in for a tryout. If your chain of command agrees with you, then they'll grant you that 3-day tryout. If you successfully complete it, you go to a 2-week selection. If you make it through the 2-week selection, you may or may not be selected to go to the 6-month school. We have an attrition rate over 80%. Out of that 6-week school, 3 weeks of it are dedicated just to rope work. We do basic rappelling. We do rescue work with raising and lowering systems, getting oftentimes wounded people out of precarious situations. We also do helicopter operations where we do hoist work, we fast rope, just like we displayed at the beginning of the show, and we rappel from elevations up to 4 times higher than this tower. Each one of these guys is issued his own harness. On the front of that harness, you're going to see this piece of equipment. It's called a figure 8. The rope is fed through that. That top hand up on the rope, that's just a guide hand, keeps you upright on the rope. The one down here by your hip, that's our money maker, that's the brake hand. As we reach away from our body, that allows the rope to freely flow through that device. That's when we let gravity do its job, and we refer to that as letting her eat. Put that hand right back towards the hip, puts friction on the device, slowing and eventually stopping us. But telling you is one thing, showing you something different. So if you look up top, we got Matt and Chris who are going to come on down and demonstrate. All right, you saw them hurl themselves off of that platform, hand went out, rope fed through, bring that hand right back to their hip, feather that brake and land oh so gently on the roof. Outstanding. However, as the fair has progressed, a couple things happen. One, the guys like to entertain themselves, and that equates to velocity. Number 2, these ropes get furry, and they start to develop loops and twists. If you're really letting her eat, you got that hand open a little bit more than you should, one of those twists hits your glove, that rope can pop out of your hands. You lose your brake on the thruway, that's a bad day on the road, right? You lose our brakes out here, that's a bad day on the ropes. But that's what brings me to Sergeant Surza here. He's not trying to be rude or antisocial. He's not showing you his back to showcase his well-defined lats and traps. I gotta hit the infirmary to get you a Band-Aid, bro, because you are cut. Is this thing on? Testing. Here, I'm keeping it. As our senior team guy and our ropes guru, he has the oh-so-important, yet not at all glamorous job of rope safety or belayment. One of those guys coming down, if they lose their brake hand, he's going to pull on the rope, putting friction on the device, slowing and hopefully stopping them. But again, telling you is one thing, showing you something different. So to help me demonstrate, one of these guys is going to do me a favor. They're going to take a couple steps back, they're going to get a running start, and they're going to throw themselves off of that roof with no hands on the rope. They're going to come hurtling towards Earth at an incredible rate of speed, accelerating at 9.8 meters per second until at the very last moment, Sergeant Surza, if he is physically able and so inclined, will use his cat-like reflexes and raw power to engage a belay, stopping that trooper moments from certain death or at least a sprained ankle. Ladies and gentlemen, you paid for your whole seat. You're only gonna need the edge. This part's gonna be awesome. Who's going? For real, guys? I built the whole thing up. You just killed it. Figure it out, all right? Figure it out like adults. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Paper beats rock. Oh, real mature, Chris. I said like adults, dude. As Chris comes down like a gentleman, let's hear from Matt for volunteering. So like I said, Matt's gonna back up. He's gonna throw himself off of the top of that tower, rapidly approaching terminal velocity or early retirement to be determined. And at the last second, we'll pull that belay and save his life. You good, Matt? You got your mind right? You look good, brother. All right, here we go, bro. 3, 2, 1. What's the matter? That's not Derek. All right. Hey, dude, what are you doing? Oh, you're gonna want that now. Oh, it smells? It's 18-day long. It's a long fair. 18 days to you sweating into it. She's like, you know what? I'll take my chances with falling items. Hey, sweetheart, what's your name? Madison? Okay, Madison. Did he tell you what to do? No instructions whatsoever. Shocking. Real nice, dude. All right, I'll give you the advanced course, okay? Matt's gonna jump, and you just pull on the rope, okay? Got it. Second, on the first bounce, the second bounce, it doesn't matter. At some point, pull on the rope. He'll stop falling eventually, I guarantee you. Madison looks locked in. She got suns out, guns out. Oh, you can hear that? Yeah, I ask you to earmuff it when I'm talking, dude. Come on, bro. She looks locked in. I think we're good. As a police officer, we're trained to pick up on body language. That's not promising. Like the crowd, they were just getting into it. You want to do me a favor? Do your job, maybe? All right. But Madison, I'm going to ask you to back him up, okay? Because his belay success rate isn't amazing. 68% of the time, it works every time. So now we got Derek, maybe on the rope. Gonna get pick up the rope. There you go. Derek's on the rope. Madison's got him backed up. What do you think, Matt? You good now? What is this? The Mary Poppins approach? It is windy, dude. You might ascend. We'll see how this goes. All right, folks. I think Matt's finally on board. Let's give him a little bit of encouragement. Get some energy going. How many count down from 3? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Catastrophic failure of the umbrella, but the belay worked outstanding. And we can leave them up here for 5, 10, 15 minutes, make it almost as long as a dog show. Nice work. And Madison, for keeping our guy from burning in, 1 trooper bear, courtesy of the PBA right out there. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for our belay. All right, folks, you can see it's real easy to get twisted up or in a bad spot. Gravity does not take an instant off. However, if you end up in an untenable position, as long as you keep your cool, as long as you keep your head, and most importantly, as long as you keep your brake hand, you're gonna be okay. So if you look all the way up top, we got Scott and Ryan. We're gonna come on down and demonstrate.
All the way up there.
All right, you saw Scott and Ryan come down to that same standard seated hip rappel that everybody else has been using. But now they're going to transition their brake hand from their right to their left. It's going to allow them to go ahead and invert. So now, even though they're upside down, as long as they maintain that newfound brake hand, they're not going to smash face first in this beautifully manicured landscaping. This is what we call the commando crawl. It allows our guys to see where they're going before they present their feet or other body parts through a window. But once they've gone far enough and seen all they feel they need to see, they can go ahead and revert, reassume that brake hand, and come on down. With a superhero landing. And ladies and gentlemen, the invert. Folks, you're going to pick up on an overarching theme to this show, and that's safety. We're dealing with heights, we're dealing with extreme angles, we're dealing with hard and sharp edges. It's inherently dangerous. So whether people are rappelling, rock climbing, or hiking, they could become injured, or they could end up in a position where they can go neither up nor down and become trapped. We have to have the means to get to those people. Ladders aren't going to necessarily reach high enough, and helicopters can be counterproductive at times. Those rotors don't do our ropes any favors, if you know what I'm saying. So if you look all the way up top, we've got Matt, who's going to come down and start this demonstration. All right, say Matt's working his way down a sheer cliff face in the Adirondack Park, or perhaps Ithaca, because it is gorgeous. He gets himself to a spot he's going to wants to be for a minute. He takes that rope and wraps around his 8, not once, not twice, but thrice. This is a tie-off. Once Matt's tied off, he can go hands-free. He can literally and figuratively hang out. He can get his cell phone out, snap a selfie, post it to his MySpace page. Anyone else still running MySpace? That explains my friend count. All right, so Matt's hanging out up there. He's enjoying his day. But say a rock kicks loose and hits him in the head. At this point, we're going to need a little bit of audience participation. Any kids that are interested in coming forward, don't worry about raising their hand. No, school hasn't started yet. See that rope in front of you for your safety? Ignore it. Come directly past that. Come on out. Come on out. I don't know if we got enough, but we have some water balloons here. So I want you to go grab a water balloon, get right up next to him. I trust that tie-off, right up under him, and let it eat. Eat it right up there. Oh, nice throw. Now he's armed, though. There you go. That's karma. Get him. Oh! Oh, they got him in the ribs. All right, folks. Let's hear it for our rocks. idea. He's gonna do some Matrix business. That didn't work out well for me at all. All right, so now Matt's been knocked unconscious, but we can't leave him up there. We got a lot of time and money invested in him, and to be honest with you, we've grown somewhat attached to him. So if you look all the way up top, we got the big Sam and Chris. Chris is gonna work his way down his line. He's gonna latch hands on Matt, and he's gonna hopefully bring them both down to safety. You ready, Chris? Come on down, brother.
Can't keep my hands to myself.
Oh, okay. We pick all our own music out here. It's a bold choice for Chris. Obviously comfortable in his own skin. What's up, Chris? This is your musical selection, is it not? Are you certain? Matt seems to enjoy it. A little too much, I agree. But you'll come down, right? Are you serious? DJ DeRoshi, our tactical diva, is not going to come down to this. He needs something way more manly. You got him? I think DJ DeRoshi got you, Chris. Let's see what he's going to spin up. The old rodeo clown. His repertoire is endless. Different dance move every show. He's incredible. Loves the weather girls though. He has all of their albums. As Chris comes down, you're to notice he has a different piece of hardware on the front of his harness. Chris isn't running an 8 anymore. He's running what's called a break bar rack. That's going to allow him to take additional weight onto his system. In this case, that additional weight is going to be Matt. Chris stops slightly above Matt, but before he gets to work, he's got to perform a tie-off, lest he become another victim in need of rescue. Now he reaches for that blue strap on the left side of his body. That's a pick-off strap and is designed specifically for rope rescue work. Uses a partial inversion and his impressive wingspan to hook into Matt's harness. Once he's hooked into Matt, he uses that pick-off strap and his bulging biceps and he somehow shoehorns into an extra medium t-shirt. A large? Not in the men's section. You'll know as Chris pulls Matt up, Matt instinctively reaches for Chris's hips and legs. We're a very close-knit team. At this point, we ask no photos be taken. Thank you. You see Matt's line has gone slack. That's an indication his weight's been removed from the rope. Now Chris is working to secure his hardware and completely free Matt from his line. Now Chris undoes his tie-off and hopefully lowers them both safely to the ground. Looks like he nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, the pick-off. You guys are silly. All right, folks, we've gone over basic rappelling, the safety measures we have in place, and we've demonstrated a very small percentage of the rescue work that we are capable of. However, there is also a tactical application to the rope work we're demonstrating here today. Say, for example, if they're a bad guy creeping around these fairgrounds. He snatches up a kid, runs up into that building, barricades the door shut. He feels real confident that we're not going to be able to make entry through that door. But unfortunately for that bad guy, Special Operations Response Team doesn't need to come in through the door. We can come in through the window. But before we do, we count on all of our partners. The men and women that you see in the gray uniform and the Stetsons walking around these fairgrounds, they're the road troopers. They're the first responders running into these chaotic scenes, oftentimes by themselves, getting people to safety and locking down and containing the incident. Then they call on their supervisors, investigators, negotiators, and our partners in special operations, to include our friendly rivals, the K-9 handlers, who do outstanding work. Several of the K-9 handlers, as well as several of our operators, are trained pilots for drones, just like this one you hear buzzing above you during the show. Those give us real-time, actionable intelligence without exposing our members to risk. However, when it comes to technology, we trust but verify. There is no substitution for the human eye. So if you look all the way up top, we've got Ryan, who's ready to run the recon. Ryan lands ever so gently on that roof so as not to notify anybody. Works in a commando crawl and starts checking windows for suspects. Oh, guard dog. Better be quiet. Hopefully it doesn't notify the home. Oh my gosh! Get out of there, Ryan. Very aggressive. He's gone fetal position. That's a bad sign. He's shelling pretty aggressively. Oh, no, swipe left, brother. Get out of there. I know it. I said guy with a knife. There's one somewhere. Keep looking. I know, it's awful. It's awful. We do have counselors available for our guys after traumatic events. You see Ryan works his way down and he's confirming what you folks saw. The suspect and hostage are in that lower window. Now Ryan reaches up on the back of his harness for that canister. That's a noise flash diversion device commonly referred to as a flashbang. That's going to emit a bright light and loud noise that distracts and disorients the suspect while we seize initiative. Looks like Ryan's ready to deploy the bang, and it looks like we're ready to effect the rescue. Scotty's in the window, looking for the bad guy. He's got the drop on him. Oh, outstanding defensive tactics. A karate chop, a flying elbow. Now we'll just take him into custody and we'll, no! Folks, I am sorry. Please don't applaud that. I'm sorry you had to witness that clear violation of New York State Police policy and procedures. Scott, you already disarmed him. Rules and regs do not allow you to throw a pedophile out of a second-story window. No. The manual clearly states it must be the third floor or higher. Second floor is not getting it done, you know what I'm saying? But Scotty, how's that kid doing? Timmy, he's okay. Another save for Scotty, let's hear it. The real hero. Chest full of medals, outstanding. Folks, hopefully you can tell that we enjoy coming out here. We love interacting with you good people working on this awesome tower. It represents a real nice break for us. However, at the end of the day, it is a serious business we're involved in. If you look along that roof line, there are 4 sets of numbers. Those are the shield numbers for Michael Strength, Ross Riley, David Brinkerhoff, and Joseph Longobardo. Those 4 men were operators on our team who died in the line of duty. They made the ultimate sacrifice serving the people of the state of New York, and we think it's those guys that deserve a real round of applause today. Folks, you have been a fantastic crowd. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Feel free to come forward after the show, answer questions, post for pictures. Tasteful, of course. I don't know if we have any stickers left, but make sure to hit up the PBA and the Trooper Foundation for all your state police swag. And the museum and the interactive displays are both interesting and air-conditioned. Thanks again for coming out, and enjoy the rest of your day at the great New York State Fair.